Shalom, when the stuff was begin with praise the Yahweh, Bashem, El Shah, Bashem, Kwakadash. Double honors to the Apostle Great Millstone, and honors you brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name, of whom the world in calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh. The son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, meaning in, meaning da and Sham, meaning names Yahweh and the name of Yahweh Shai. Real quick, just wanted to touch on this one that I came across in the morning, right? And it just goes to show that he's the devil. He's just the devil. Yeah, he's just the devil, and then you get people like Vocab that will come up and try to come up against us. But these times, this is what these corporations be doing, right? And then obviously, this is the agenda of the elites, so they just get away with it, right? So I muted it. It's just one of them ones that got background music and pictures, right? But as you're saying, is right. So you had the corporation Nestle, right, and they're still in business today, right? Allegedly, could have said that because this is YouTube. Allegedly, responsible for the deaths of over 10 million babies. Okay. And I believe there are a lot of controversy surrounding Nestle in general, right? It says the world's largest food and beverage company, right? 1867, right? A Swiss chemist, right? For formula to vulnerable families, right? But these times, you have a saying, right? Breast is best, right? So let's see. Let's go to where we always go to see what we can garner from the robots, because the robots, they can pull together information from loads of different places, so they're useful like that. So we can say what is meant by breast is best. Now of course you get some women that have ailments, right, where they can't really generate milk, but that's just that's one of the curses. Okay. Let me get that. Let me grab this as well, right? This is Deuteronomy 28 and 61, right? It says, also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, then will the Lord Yahweh bring upon thee until thou be destroyed, right? So if you've got a woman, she can't breastfeed, that's just one of the curses that the Most High has put, right? The fact that we're under this man, right, for to even be getting his products like that, right? That's also part of the curses. Deuteronomy 28 and 48 says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, right? And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee, right? So we go to this man in the want of all things, right? From formula to this to that. And the thing is, a formula be expensive as hell, right? But there are certain things that you basically have in breast milk that even would you call it, doesn't know about. I remember hearing about there was this particular sugar that was in breast milk, okay, and then basically saw that it wasn't being ingested, right? Rather wasn't being processed by the baby, so he wasn't adding it to formula. But then come to find out, right, that it actually was acting as a catalyst, right? Basically, let me get the definition of that word, right? Define catalyst, right? Bring it in here, bare pop-ups. Right, so a catalyst is it's something that makes a chemical reaction happen more quickly without itself being changed, right? So it's something that it doesn't itself get used, so the sugar wasn't being used. However, it was used, rather it doesn't get consumed, right? But basically what it was doing was helping to line the stomach of the baby's intestines, right? So all of that time, right, babies weren't getting this because they were told formula. And also, the whole formula stuff was very much a way to get women in the workplace. Okay, this is why the scripture says, whose heart is deep, right? This is Psalms 64, right? It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of the iniquity, right? Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows, shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly did a shoot at him and fear not, right? All of the different, all of the different things that they say about, Israel praying against Israel and stuff like that. Okay, so it says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them, right? And you know that they know that breast is better, and they've always known. Yet for the sake of profit, for the sake of money, for the sake of getting more, right? They basically pushed this agenda, right? And also, not only that, it would have been a way as well to enable women to get into the workplace. Oh, you don't need to breastfeed your baby, just give them this form, you can just make formula or whatever. Okay. And man, when you look at breastfeeding, man, look, man, the Most High is out there, man. Let me just get some yeah, I'm trying to see breastfeeding. I'm trying to look at the words, think of the words, man. Um, uh, right. I'm just trying to look real quick. Breastfeed baby with cold and gland, man. So sometimes you can't find the terminology for your queries and stuff. But basic, it's like there is a okay, let me look. Okay, symbiotic relationship. It's like, if you bear with me, right? Yeah, I can't think of the wording. But basically, it's like the mammaries, right? The technical term for breasts, right? The mammaries basically has certain glands where allegedly what they say, not alleged, but what they say is like when a baby is sick, right? Then the woman's milk changes, okay, to basically cater to what the baby needs, right, at that particular time. Okay, so let's carry on. So I said, what is meant by breast is that breast is best is a slogan used to promote breastfeeding as the ideal way to feed infants, especially during the early months of life. It reflects the medical and scientific consensus that breast milk provides optimal nutrition and health for babies. It says nutrition completeness. Breast milk contains the right balance of nutrients, including fats, proteins, vitamins, antibodies tailored to a baby's needs. Immune support, it provides antibodies to help protect newborns from infections and disease. Bonding is an important one, right? Very important one. It says breastfeeding can foster a close emotional connection between mother and child. Breastfed babies tend to have lower risk of asthma, obesity, type 2 diabetes, ear infections, and sudden infant death syndrome. And breastfeeding can help mothers recover from childbirth more quickly and may reduce the risk of breast and ovarian cancers, right? And yeah, but they're talking about due to medical or psychological reason, but we're not talking about that particular instance. You get ones that could, but they don't. Right, but let's get back to the video. Because once again, Esau knows these things, which is why I was reading Psalm 64, which I didn't finish actually. I wanted to get verse 6. It says, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. Right, and let me just ask this and carry on. Right, so does breast milk change to suit the baby's needs? And then that can carry on, right? So let's carry on with this, right? So back in the video, can I speed this up? So they created a profitable market by promoting its formula consisting of cow's milk, wheat flour, and sugar, right? You know what I might actually do, right? Oh yeah, trying to convince people that this formula was better, right? Says Nestle was a multi-billion-dollar corporation, saw massive profit opportunity in selling baby formula in the developing world, right? Can I do this? Actually, let me just do this because it's not like it's just get. They picked poor countries with high birth rates, right? Weak legal systems, bad public health. What does that sound like, right? What does that sound like? This is basically following the model of the Egyptian, right? With the Egyptians, where they were basically trying to cut Jake off, specifically the Jake babies. Okay, you see that with this stuff that Bill pushes, and sort of, if we give more of these juices, then we'll lower the population. So like, would you think that means? Okay, so Nestle aggressively promoted formula superior, right, while bribing medical experts to endorse them. So once again, uh when you look at people who say, oh yeah, but this is approved by doctors, or this is approved by scientific consensus, right? People think that that means something, right? But when you understand that a lot of these people are bought and paid for, whether it's directly or indirectly, in the sense that they know if they don't get with consensus, then they'll lose their funding, right? They'll basically be boycotted, right? This is Job 13 and 4 says, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. Okay, so let's carry on, right? It's also hired saleswomen in developing countries and dressing them like nurses, right? Just like how, women were given free samples at clinics, hospitals, and homes, knowing that those would disrupt breastfeeding. Okay. One investigation in Nigeria found 87% of mothers used formulas because they had thought hospital staff had recommended it, but it was a Nestle a sales rep. Now, this wording is ambiguous, in the sense that I don't know whether it's saying that 87% of Nigerian mothers use formula, or 87% of the ones that used formula, right? Which are two very different things. So, at the end of the day, this is, we're about truth. So, just got to point that out, right? Yeah, just enough to last until the mother's own milk dried up completely, right? It says once dependent, they had no choice but to keep buying formula, right? Yeah, it cost over a third of a family's income. Right? So desperate mothers diluted the formula to make it last longer, unknowingly starving their own children. Right? No access to clean water, so they will mix it. So, man, this man's got a lot to pay for, man. Right? Lacking the vital nutrients, right? Facing malnutrition, disease, and severe deficiencies. Right? Millions died. Right? In 1974, the British report, the baby killer exposed the crimes. Right, Swiss group renamed the report "Nestle Kills Babies," and Nestle sued them for libel. When people started boycotting Nestle, it spent $2 billion on PR to fight the boycott. And that's what Esau does. Esau is is a master of PR, master of public relations, right? In the sense that he, everything about him, here it is, he's the devil, right? But what does the scripture say? He has transformed himself, right? Let's just grab it, right? This is 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. There's a no marvel, for Satan is transformed into an angel of light. And that's what Esau has done, right? He's basically made, pulled the wool over people's eyes to make himself the victor, right? Make himself the oh so great and wise one. But these times he's the devil, right? Just through and through, right? But that's what PR and marketing can do. Always give the example in film about some of the stuff that we watched, growing up. Give the example of, like, when you've got a film and someone's saving the day. See, Edomite saving the day, right? Or they're in the control room, about the asteroid's about to hit, and who will it be? It will be a small hat that some way somehow saves the day. Okay, you know, so that's it, right? And then there you can read more into it, from you got this Wikipedia article just kind of going going into it. Okay, and it's, once again, it's like Esau knows, every Esau knows what he's doing, man. Right? He's got agendas. He understands, that the everything that we need, right, is on this earth, right? But he doesn't care, right? This is Sirach 38 and 1. Says, honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which he may have of him, for the Lord Yahweh hath created him, right? But in fact, before I continue this, just wanted to just read this. It says, so on this question again, does breast milk change to suit the baby's needs? Yes, breast milk does change to suit the baby's needs, and that's one of its most remarkable features. Colostrum, first few days, thick, yellowish, and rich in antibodies and immune cells, because of course they need it, right? High in protein, right? Transition milk, increased volume and calories, right? Mature milk, after 2 weeks, continues to adjust your baby's growing needs and quantities. Full milk, the milk at the start of a feed is more watery, quenching thirst. Hind milk, as the milk feed and continues, the milk becomes richer in fat, blah, blah, blah. Right, which even makes me think if a woman is, bottling, right, what that ends up looking like, all of that stuff. But once again, this is just the world that we that we live in, right? You may want your woman to stay at home and be there for the children, but that just isn't practical in this world, right? For the vast majority of people. So when you look into certain of these things, man, it's just like, it's just like you're the Most High, man. It's just like the Most High. Well, He created it. What did the angels say in Genesis 1? Right, they saw that it was good. So I asked, what about when they're sick and throughout the day, e.g., is night milk different to day milk? It says yes, breast milk changes not just over months or feedings, but also in response to illness and even across the day. It's a dynamic, biologically responsive fluid. Here's how: when the baby or mother is sick, right? If the baby is sick, the mother's body can detect pathogens through baby saliva backflow during the nursing or close physical contact. Breast milk respond by producing more immune cells, right, antibodies and antimicrobial compounds to target that illness. It becomes rich in secretory IgA, lactoferrin, and white blood cells, helping the baby fight off infection. Remarkably, studies have shown that milk composition can change within hours, right, to respond in response to the baby's illness. So if you're just giving them, this stuff, right, just giving them this, that ain't getting any of the response. Okay, right? So it says yes, breast milk varies based on circadian rhythms, right? The body's 24-hour cycle, and this helps regulate the baby's sleep-wake cycle. Daytime milk contains more activity-promoting hormones like cortisol, may have different amino acid and electrolyte profiles to support alertness and daytime development. Right, nighttime milk, high levels of melatonin, right, a sleep-promoting hormone, which babies don't produce on their own at first. Okay, more tryptophan, an amino acid that helps the body produce melatonin and serotonin, important for mood and sleep regulation, right? And this may have slightly higher fat content, which helps babies feel fuller, and sleep longer. Right, so bonus cognitive and behavioral effects. These time-based changes in milk may support the development of the baby's own biological clock and contribute to better sleep patterns, mood regulation, and cognitive development over time. If pumping or bottle feeding breast milk, if you're expressing milk for later use, it's helpful, not essential to label it with the time of day it was pumped. So evening milk can be fed in the evening and so on, right? I mean, the Most High, man, it's amazing. All right, so let's get back to this and end on this one. This is Sirach 38 from the top. Says, honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which he may have of him. For the Lord hath created him, right? Because every brother's got their gift, man, right? And you'll see certain brothers, you ask them about something, you be thinking, man, like, I doubt brother may know about this, and then you ask them, say, yeah, man, you can just go get X, Y, Z. Or it's like, they'll just like, oh, no, give me a sec. And then within a couple of minutes, they're coming back at you with something. All right, it says, for of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. Right, it says, the skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men, he shall be in admiration. Right, the sight of great men. Right, but what has Esau done? He's basically made the world look down on, men that are, that basically, practice use or make use of the herbs. Okay. right? Calls them what, quacks, and that is PR as well, okay? Because that's why people will repeat the same phrase, right? It says, "The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them," okay, right? And as we just read here, right? Even the fact that a woman's breast milk, that in itself acts as a as medicine, right? Just goes to show you, just the importance of, just righteousness, right? I remember years ago coming across, whether it's true or not, I'm not sure, but coming across about, if a woman is stressed during pregnancy, right, which makes sense, but if a woman is stressed during pregnancy, there's a chance of like other, not major complications, but baby maybe having, this or that, right? So, but once again, it's like, who, not a lot of people can really afford to just say, babe, you're not working anymore as soon as they find out their woman's pregnant, right? That's just not practical for the large majority of people. And Esau has made it such, right? Such that they can then, get given this, so that then Esau can then take them right into the school system to indoctrinate them, right? It says, real quick, Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Okay, basically going into how how he has basically this is a true thing, right? If a child is trained in a certain way, right, those traits, right, basically become, they call it formative years, right? And Esau understands this, which is why he's done so much to remove children from parents, so that the children are just stuck in a class, right, with freak teachers, and and children raised by freaks. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. As always, those rules edifying. Till next time we say shalom.